Hello, this is Katie LPS517 here, and I will be making up my own story of Derpy Hooves, and I will be saying it out loud right now. There may be interruptions, and I may have to leave the room, but I will start another video if that happens. Okay. Once in the old Ponyville apartments, there lived a little filly named Ditzy. She was very odd. Her eyes were going cross-eyed, but one was lifted. It was very odd and very rare, but nobody really cared about it, but some would make fun of her. But she didn't really mind. But one day, her mother was baking some muffins on the table, and this was her first time trying them. Ditzy looked at the muffin, and she looked very concerned. And she told her mom, "What is this, Mommy? This looks weird." "It's a muffin," replied her mother. "Ew, it looks gross." "It isn't. Just try it," said her mother. Ditzy opened her mouth and popped in the muffin. She smiled as she started chewing. And then she was jumping around, and she closed her eyes and said, "Mmm! This is delicious." Her mother looked at her in a happy way. But her father came in and, well, he said, "It's time to go to the hospital." And Ditzy looked at her father and said, "What's a hospital?" "A hospital is where you were born, and it's where they help you when there's something wrong with your body." "Why do you have to take me there?" said Derpy. "It's because of your eyes." "But Daddy, why do you have to take me to there because of my eyes? What's wrong with them?" "It's because you have wall eyes." "What are wall eyes?" "Ugh. Wall eyes are when your eyes are crossed or looking at your nose and then one is lifted. It's really weird." "Dad, why did you never tell me this?" "Well, have you ever looked into a mirror, Ditzy?" Her mother stopped the conversation by saying, "Quiet!" Ditzy started to cry, but then she sucked up the tear and she stopped crying because she knew this happens all the time, so she's used to it. Her father took her into the car as her wings were flapping around, trying to hit him because she didn't want to go there. She wanted her eyes to stay the way they were because she didn't really mind what they were like. At the hospital, Ditzy was very, very quiet. She saw big ponies, just like her daddy, but they looked scary. They had bloody clothes, and some were holding ponies that looked injured. But she was a little scared. She didn't want to go in there because all the ponies were so scary that she would just faint when they entered the room. "Daddy!" she yelled. Her dad looked at her grudgingly. "Don't do that, Ditzy," said her father. "Daddy, I don't want to be here. It's scary." "Ditzy!" "Daddy." "Be quiet." "Okay, Daddy." "Now go to sleep." Okay. When she woke back up, she saw that her eyes were acting really weird. 'Cause she only saw one head on her daddy. She's like, "Daddy, what happened to your other head?" And her dad was laughing so hard. Ditzy, they fixed your eyes. Dad, why? Ditzy, we had to. If you went to school like this, they would all be making fun of you. I'll explain it to you later. Ditzy looked at her father, and she fell asleep again. And then when she woke up, she saw her mother, and she was inside of her bed. Miss Stitches was gone, her favorite doll. "Miss Stitches, where are you?" And then she saw Miss Stitches in the garbage. "Mommy!" "What?" "Why did you throw Miss Stitches away?" "Get her out of the garbage, I don't care. I don't even care about that dumb thing." "Mom." It's just a doll." Ditzy started to cry. And then her mother threw her into her bed, and then she slammed the door closed. Ditzy was crying, and then she fell asleep, and she had a nightmare that Nightmare Moon was coming to bring her to the moon, and then she was trapped in the moon forever. She woke up and she screamed. Her father ran into her room. "What's wrong, Ditzy?" And Ditzy was crying, and she looked very scared. "It's okay. You could sleep with me, Ditzy." She was taken to her room, and the room was very cold. Her father wrapped her mane around her neck, and it didn't choke her because it wasn't that tight. And then he put on his robes, and then he put the blanket over Ditzy, and he was sleeping without one. And then he tucked the blanket underneath her and said good night. "Daddy?" "Yes, Ditzy?" "Why are you so nice to me, but Mom is really rude?" "She's got problems, okay?" "Okay." And then her wall eyes appeared when she woke up in the morning. Yay! And then she saw her dad, which was looking at her angrily, and he was like, "Why in the world are your wall eyes back?" "Daddy, it's how I usually see." Okay. Now, Ditzy,
What?
I want you, when you're older, you're gonna live with Carrot Top, alright?
What?
We've already planned it for a long time with her parents because they've been thinking about you two to be partners forever, ever since you went to school.
Why?
Because it looks like you're very best friends with her.
I am.
How about you go play with Raindrops, alright?
Okay. Hi, Raindrops,
said Ditzy.
Oh, hi, Ditzy. How are you doing? Great. I got a new piano today. Really? You want to come see it? Sure. Or do you want to help us move it in? Okay. How about you go hold the rope?
I'll go get it. Ditzy struggled trying to hold the rope, and then Raindrops was right underneath it. The piano fell on Raindrops, and Raindrops screamed. Ditzy looked very, very puzzled. She was wondering if she was dead. And then she looked around and she saw her parents looking very angry at her.
I'm sorry.
You leave our house now.
I didn't mean to do it.
Go! Ditzy ran over to the apartment, and then she went into her room, and then she was holding Miss Stitches in her hooves. She talked to Miss Stitches.
Miss Stitches, what do you think will happen to me if the cops figured this out?
She wiggled her around as if she was talking, as if she was saying, "Hi."
Well, I guess. Probably you should run away.
Ditzy did exactly that. She went out of the house and went over there.